Calf in second there, an outstanding set. 6-year-old cow with a tremendous amount of longevity. She too is extremely sound out in her feet and legs. You can see that she's really put a lot of work into this calf. Just a really big, stout kind of a female. Two outstanding individuals. The cow though in second, I maybe like to refine her in terms of her teats just ever so slightly. Her calf maybe isn't quite as attractive out in front, but that's getting pretty picky because them are two outstanding pairs, especially for being a 6-year-old cow. You can just see the job that she's done with this calf at side. Two excellent pairs. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause.
Your grand champion purebred cow-calf pair is entry number 28. CTL Believe in Me, shown by Spotted Hills Ranch of Montgomery, Texas, and Crazy Town Lowlines of Roswell, New Mexico. The reserve champion cow-calf pair, entry 31, SSC Cena 1Y, shown by Allenbaugh Farms of Trenton, Missouri.
Got a nice bull calf to kick our bull show off here on our red pole side. I love just the look of him, his smoothness. I think he could one day turn into a real asset in terms of a female maker. Nice hind leg set to him. And I think you study his angle standing still, you don't see any problems with him. He's a little nervous and he gets on the go today. He wants to pop him ever so slightly. But boy, one that's got some quality, I think a promising future. Nice bull calf here to start off our show.
And our winner of Class 23 Bulls is Shooters Dakota, shown by Jacob Shooter, Frankton, Indiana. We're now showing Class 24 Bulls on the red pole side.
With or without features? What are we doing? They're taking pictures. But I did see a black white. They say these are, he's been talking about the judges. These are grass. Grass. She goes on which judge? Doing the low line. He's just lucky he's not in jail, right? What's that? Yeah, Wilson. Over there.
Going to leave these two bulls like they stand, and again, there's a lot of give and take between them. For me, the young lady's bull just comes to us a little bolder and wider all the way through. I think he has a little more muscle shape when you get right in behind him and up on top of him in terms of his skeleton. He probably sits down on his rear feet in a little more comfortable manner. I like to relax him in his spine, provide him with a little more depth, and that's where I kind of get into the bull ends up second in this class. A big testicle bull, I think one that's probably just a shot deeper in his heart and his forearm. One that for me is still pretty square over his hip. I guess when I really get down to it, I want to open that bull up in his base width. He gets just a little narrower base all the way through, and maybe still just a little thinner in terms of his maturity pattern just yet. But again, I think two useful bulls there that both definitely have some good pieces about them.
Our class winner goes to entry number 33, JF Bandit, shown by Jackson Farms, Greens Fork, Indiana. Second place is entry number 34, AK Buzz Lightyear, shown by AK Cattle Company. We're ready for Division 1 bulls, calf champion in the red bull side.
Using the wrong bait.
How about over here? Put it this way. I needed this truck in my pocket.
Here in this first division of bulls here again, like we talked about the female show, variations can still be a good thing, especially when you want to make different improvements here. And we definitely have 3 different types of bulls out here. Again, our first class winner obviously won us the different one out here in terms of depth. He's much softer, still has enough muscle shape to him. I think his structure and his skeleton is very, very pleasing as you study him there. The one that came out of that next class obviously has the muscle advantage from behind. He's wider and square. He's got more shape up top. Maybe we still want to provide him a little more depth and relax him in his spine there as well. So again, some give and take. Just depends on where you think the utility needs to be within your cow herd. But the one that pleases me best is a little bull out here out of first class that makes the bull here out of our second class, our reserve division. But a good division of bulls.
I'm not getting my hands dirty. He's stuck.
And our division champion goes to entry number 30, Shooters Dakota, shown by Jacob Shooter. And our reserve is entry number 33, JF Bandit, shown by Jackson Farms, Greens Fork, Indiana.
Grandpa can pick you up. You're not playing with the camera. Stop. You only want me to pick you up because you want to play with the camera. Grandpa can pick you up.
Pick up your stick. Pick up your stick, Lane. Lane, pick up your stick. Other end. Hey.
Goes down.
Mary's handy.
Change your diaper.
Hey. And the bowl.
Got a nice trio of bulls here, and who I'm going to start with, I would like to maybe give him the feet of the one we have here in second, but I think after that, to me, that's the masculine big hip bull in this class. That's the one that looks the part in terms of his body and his balance, and comes together with some style and some presence to him there as well. Again, I like to set him down just a touch looser and longer in terms of his step, but he's still probably adequate enough in that regard. What we have here in second, again, probably the best footed one of this crew in terms of the way he sets down his lower joints. Still one that has ample muscle shape. Just some balance things about him I want to change. He gets a little weaker in his spine, a little more lower shoulder in that guy. I like to open him up in his heart and his forerib there, but his running gear I really enjoy. Bull we end up third in that class, has some length, has some extension to him, just kind of out-horsed and out-powered, not quite as masculine there as what we find in those pair ahead of him, but nice trio of bulls.
And our placings for Class 27 bulls. First place is entry number 37, Esquire's Journal, Esquire's Land and Cattle Company. Second place is Shooters Denver, shown by Shooter Sunset Farms. And third place is Esquire's Reward, shown by Esquire Land and Cattle Company.
Another nice single entry bull, and bull's extremely functional. Talk about a good-footed, freewheeling one that can get out and go. I think one that still comes together with some balance. I love the quality of his head, neck, and shoulder weight attaches to the front side of his skeleton and his body. He's ample in terms of his width. There'll be some his age that are stouter and bigger and more powerful, but I think he still puts together a nice look of balance, and just love how he gets around and goes in terms of his skeletal function here. So nice bull to be a single entry here in this class.
Our class winner in Class 28 is entry 38, MFF Mr. 303, shown by Miller Family Farm. We're now showing for division champion. We pull this division of bulls together. Again, a good division of bulls. A bull that came out of that first class. Again, nicely presented. He's got some balance and some look and some eye appeal to him. Still one that has some muscle shape to him when you get on this top side. I like the depth of body and his development there as well. Again, we're going to pick on him. I like to set him down that much more comfortably in his lower joints, make him reach in a more fluid manner. Bull that came out of this next class, single entry, again, maybe an outlier in terms of just the way he sets down on his feet and his foot shape. Good pasturing angle and flexibility to him, and still one, I like the attractiveness of him and the boldness of his body there again. And we talked about him in terms of moderation. There'll be some that are bigger than what he is obviously out here in this division, but I'm a fan of his function and his build here. Going to use him to be our champion here in this division. We'll have the first class there will be reserved. Our division champion goes to entry number 38, MFF Mr. 303, shown by Miller Family Farm. And the reserve goes to entry number 37, Esquire's Journal, shown by Esquire Land and Cattle Company, Maple Vale, Arkansas.
Two really nice full-bloods over here to start the full-blood show off with. Quite a bit of age variation in these two individuals. The April heifer I chose to start with, I think, is the one that's just show ring ready today. She's a female that's fairly highly presented. She's a female that's got a really nice balance and look from the side. She's really youthful about that front. She too is a female that's got some excellent length out in terms from her pins back. She's a female that's going to change. I like to definitely give her a little more power through that center part of her rib cavity. Like the power up in the lower part of her stifle. That's where I really like this little June heifer that comes out next. Heifer's got a tremendous amount of hip. She's got a lot of lower stifle. She's got some width of base. She's very ultra lean about that front and really cool and attractive out of her front end. If you were going to change, you'd like to square her up from hooks to her pins. And two, I think this heifer will definitely give that April run later on down the road. A little more time and a little more work. She just isn't maybe quite as highly presented as the heifer ahead of her. And that's first time to a show, I'm sure, makes it a little tough.
Your first class of full-blood low-line females, class 14, first place entry 37, UF Miss Tasha 11T28D, shown by the University of Findlay, Ohio. And second place entry 32, 4D Elsa, shown by Rachel Duffy of Pontiac, Illinois.
Had a single entry bull here, and again, I think one that could definitely use more competition. Just a fundamentally correct one, a yearling that's got some growth and some performance to him. I think he's got an ample amount of muscle to him when you get into him. A masculine bull, you can study him through his head and neck and appreciate him for that. Still one that's pretty good and sound on his feet and legs there as well. Maybe make him a little bolder in his center, but at the same time, he's still probably good going through that growth stage there. But a nice bull here to represent this particular class.
Two really nice individuals here, a lot of give and take in the two females. I think the heifer I chose to start with just excels in terms of her ruggedness of her structure. She's a female, stands out a little more circumference of foot. She's definitely stouter in terms of her bone. She's definitely a female that's got just a little more overall performance and length of spine. She's a female, if I was going to change, I'd definitely like to make her just a little more coordinated when we set her in motion. She tends to want to hawk in off just a notch off them hind legs. She maybe wants to get up in her top just a little bit. I'd definitely like to power her up in terms of her lower stifle and give her just a little more power through the center part of her rib cavity. The heifer in two I like probably a little bit better when we set them in motion. She sets down a little truer from hock to ground. She gets a bit frailer in terms of her bone work though. Maybe gets just a notch smaller in terms of her foot size. But she is a female that's extremely sound. She's straight in terms of her lines. Just like to power her up in overall structure as the heifer ahead of her.
Class 15, full-blood females in the low-line show. First is entry 39, UF Miss Val Holly, 24Y14D, shown by the University of Findlay, Ohio. And in second place, entry 38, RF Dove, shown by Riverwood Farms of Powell, Ohio. We're now ready to select the spring heifer calf champion.
Another solid pair of bulls, and the bull we start with, just a little more of an outlier, but in a positive way. Yeah, he's a little on the shorter side, but talk about some true shape to this guy. He has a very impressive when you get right in behind him and study him. Love the boldness of his body. Still one is very attractive in the way he sets his head and neck to the top side of his shoulder. Incredible amount of foot and bone on this gentleman here as well. Get a good testicle bull, a long strided bull, maybe modify his front skeleton just a shade in terms of just his shoulder angle, but I think that bull's got a lot of good going for him still. A very useful bull, very practical bull that comes here next. Pretty range ready type bull in terms of structure. I like his length, I like his growth. He can contribute a lot of that to a particular calf crop. Probably for me, relative to the bull we used to beat him with, not quite as muscular, not quite as bold in the center part of his body, but still one you like a lot in terms of his useful kind. So a good pair of bulls here within this class.
Class 32, our winner is entry number 42, DFM Prime Time, shown by McCall Show Cattle. And entry number 40 is second place, JF Wrangler 2, shown by Stone Farm, Salem, Indiana. And I had a correction on the division reserve champion. Entry number 37 was Esquire's Happy Hour, shown by Esquire Land and Cattle Company.